In 2024, cash flow. I think we're close on a couple of, certainly Blessburg. We're at the point where we're in production. The guys are doing a great job. The Rados plant is sorting the spodumene. I think it's a world first with the recoveries we've got. I think we're up at 89% now, which is great. There's still a little bit of and it's an AI machine. It's very, very clever. I'm going to go up there after in Indaba to really understand how it works, even trying to differentiate between smoky quartz and the lower grade spodumene. That's the last little bit, and it learns that itself. So it's a very, very clever piece of kit. So the guys are doing well up there. And then Nyori Nyori, I think, is next off the rank in terms of being able to produce cash flow. We're quite excited about that project. That's one of the graphite projects in Tanzania. And then Kanusi, geologically, I think, is the most exciting, but that's got a bit more work to be done, and the drilling and the geophysics will prove that. Yeah, the lithium's up and running. It kind of looks after itself, and if you can generate cash flow within a project, it becomes a lot more self-sustainable. We've got great support from QGC, but you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket all the time. And if you can start generating cash flow at projects, I think that's what shareholders need to see and want to see, especially as we jump up to a new exchange. Sustainability is very important. So Eunice and I, and with Colin's coming on board on the geological side, we've been working from day one on our CSR, corporate and social responsibility. Simple things like taking netballs up to the school at Kanusi. We're building a secure dormitory for the girls that come from remote villages, so they can stay a night or two. It's safer. A borehole at Nyori Nyori. When we start drilling at Nyori Nyori, we need to drill a borehole for our water for the RC drilling. Well, then at the same time, we're going to drill a borehole for the local village. It's pretty dry up there. So a borehole for them for fresh potable water is huge, and it makes a big. So there's little things like that. So we're setting aside 5% of all our exploration spend to put toward community engagement, whether it's council offices, sanitary stuff, boreholes, the local school in Kanusi, etc. And then there's, as I say, the little things like taking sets of goalkeeping gloves and a couple of footballs out. Last time I went up there, it just goes down. It goes down so well. Those sort of things have no monetary value almost. Yeah, again, it's getting the projects to cash flow or cash flow positive or generating cash flow. And some are very, very close. We're lucky in that regard, but we've been careful on the ones we've chosen. Jason and I and the team have looked at a lot of projects, and because of the speed that we can assess projects, and people have seen how quickly we do react, a lot of projects are coming across our desk or through the office or whatever, and it's prioritizing those. We must have nigh on 67 graphite licenses, where you can't do all of them. So we need to prioritize those. And as I said, Nyori Nyori is probably the most exciting. You've got 300 meters width and probably 3.5 kilometers of strike going straight up a hill. And our consultants are very excited about that one. And that wasn't our priority probably 6 months ago. So those things do change. So you need to be nimble. And whilst the budget is, $6.5 million, it's quite easy to spend $6.5 million if you're not careful and you plan things properly. So probably jumping onto other questions, things like geophysics at Kanusi will give us so much more information for relative efficiency of budget spend, because it's looking deeper into the ground. It's a big system there. We're very excited about it. We're talking to some of the other operators on the other side of the mountain from us, and I think combining forces on something like that would be much more beneficial. Getting drilling done at Kanusi, getting the geophysics done at Kanusi, which is the copper project, the geological interpretation, Blessburg continuing to grow. The Rados plant is there now. The next stage potentially is putting a carbonate plant in there to upgrade the value of the product from just the spodumene. We've seen the lithium markets hit recently, but actually quality spodumene and the carbonate product should survive and be a lot more, the margins are higher, etc. So the good projects will always come to the top. It's maybe some of the brine projects, some of the ionic clay projects may suffer. And likewise, Bagamoyo and then Nkombwe Hill are longer term, probably exploration projects that we still need to develop. The geological team and the geophysics, they've got enough money to go out there and play properly and make a massive difference, including drilling programs. Not many companies at our age, bear in mind Marula's only been going a couple of years, not many companies would have got this far or have that budget behind them. Yeah, again, I think it goes to the geophysics. That's going to be one of the most important things, to really understand what's going on beneath the surface. So whether that's, airborne EM at Kanusi, which we'd like to do, and it's not that expensive compared to other areas of the world, and it's very easy to get. I've been very, very impressed on how easy it is to get stuff done in Tanzania and Kenya and South Africa. They're keen for the investment. They want things done. The Minister of Mines from Tanzania has visited Dodoma. He's very keen to get Kanusi going. That understanding is the most important, especially with Kanusi. It's a little bit more geologically complicated. And Nyori Nyori is a case of doing some more trenching, more sampling, and putting some drill holes into it. I think that's probably sufficient. So each one is different. Each will be geologically different, and the level of understanding can be accomplished quicker at somewhere like Nyori Nyori than somewhere like Kanusi. Yeah, look, the team's growing. Every time I come back, there's more people in the office. The enthusiasm is huge. I met Collins, and I've met Collins before, but his two other geologists, we had a long meeting yesterday going through all the projects. It's boots on the ground. I was a field geologist about 30 odd years ago. So whilst I love going around in the field and looking at the projects, these guys are boots on the ground. They're local. They know the local geology. They've seen other similar projects within East Africa. And they know their stuff. They're young, they're enthusiastic, and they understand that every little decision they make comes up to the board level for us to make more informed decisions on where we spend the money and how. And they understand that, and I think because we've got a small team, it's going to be much more fun and there's much more drive for them. In a big company with lots of geologists and all the rest of it, you can get a bit lost, but these guys understand they've got the ownership of the geology, plus with Geofields, our consultants, and that's quite a powerful team, again, especially for such a small sort of junior mining company. So Collins is going to do a great job. He understands where we need to go. We all have the same vision. I'm a geologist, Jason's a mining engineer, so we can speak the same language with them. It's not as if we're accountants and lawyers. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but they don't make very good geologists. Well, everyone loves Indaba. It's, late January, early February in Cape Town, when it's 3 degrees at home and it's 30 degrees out there. But that aside, look, we have the opportunity to meet. There are service providers I haven't met because, they're in Joburg or they're down. So that's one opportunity. Another opportunity is sit down physically with the QGC team, with Tim, with JJ and with Quinton himself, and go through what we need, any frustrations we've had over the last 12 months, how we can improve things. The communication is excellent between all the teams, but I know everyone likes a Zoom call and a Teams call, but nothing beats actually sitting down with the teams and going through things. And there'll be other, people will be approaching us with opportunities in JV, opportunities, other projects, because they've seen how quickly you can move. But we do have to be very, very careful we're not spreading ourselves too thin. Marula is still a battery metals mining company. We've got the lithium, we've got the copper, we've got the graphite. We've seen some manganese opportunities. We've seen some very, very exciting nickel opportunities. But you can't do everything. And we're certainly not going to spin out and do a gold play. That would be for something else. So we'll see what comes out of all that. There's a lot of meetings set up. Both Jason and I will be flying around in all different directions doing the meetings. I'm sure we'll do some more interviews during Indaba and post Indaba. And it's growing the value for the shareholders. That's the primary objective. That's my, as chairman and as Jason as CEO, our primary objective is to increase value for our shareholders. That is your job. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's your primary objective always. Yeah, look, thanks for your continued support. We've done pretty well. I think when we did the raise at 2p and the warrants are exercising at 4p, and the share price is fluctuating between 12 and 14 at the moment, that's a 6 times or a 7 times increase on the original investment. So not too bad. Everyone always wants more, but we keep putting the news out. We are not shy on RNSs, so we'll keep you informed as and when we can, pretty regularly. Also, the upgrade to the main market in London is going to be huge, as will the secondary listings on Nairobi and the Joburg exchange. That'll increase liquidity massively, and all 3 exchanges will allow new investors to get involved in Marula, whether they're institutional, perhaps they couldn't do AQUIS before, didn't like AQUIS, but they've been great to us. We're one of the darlings of the AQUIS market, but it's time to upgrade and get sort of bigger. So hopefully the share price will continue to increase. That's what everybody wants, and we will attract new investors.